Hello friends. Today's I'm discuss most important topic iOS 16. Release date and new feature. At WWDC this year, Apple showed off iOS 16, which will add a bunch of cool new features to your iPhone. With iOS 16, you'll be able to go into the Messages app and change messages you've already sent. You'll also get new ways to customize your iPhone, like being able to change how your lock screen looks. Also new are ways for people in abusive relationships to keep their privacy. iOS 16 is likely to come out in September, around the same time as the heavily rumored iPhone 14. For the iPhone 8 and subsequent versions, it will be released. Developers can now get the software. After iOS 15.5 came out on May 16, which had updates to Apple Cache, Photos Memories, and the Podcasts app, Apple released iOS 16. Apple also just released a developer beta for iOS 15.6, which doesn't have any big new features at the moment and seems to be mostly about fixing bugs. Messages may be edited and unsent with iOS 16. Craig Federighi, Apple's Senior Vice President of Software Engineering, was demonstrating 3 of the most requested enhancements for the Messages app when he remarked, "Embarrassing errors are a thing of the past." This was one of the things that Federighi demonstrated. First, in iOS 16, you'll be able to change messages you've already sent. So, if you see a typo after you send a message, you'll be able to fix it. Under the message, the status says, "Edited," in a very small font. If you accidentally sent a message that wasn't finished, you can use the Undo Send tool to stop it from being read and, hopefully, make your friends and family think you're less crazy. Messages and threads can be marked as unread. This could be a great tool for when you don't have time to answer a message right away but want to make sure you get to it later. Your iPhone now has a new lock screen that you can change. The lock screen is one of the things you look at most on your iPhone, especially if it has a Face ID. With iOS 16, the iPhone's lock screen gets its most important update to date. Hold down to change your lock screen. You can swipe to try out a variety of looks. Each style changes the background photo's color filter and the font on the lock screen so that everything matches. This seems like Apple's version of Google's Material You, which came out with Android 12 last year. You can also change the fonts for the time and date and add widgets to the lock screen, such as a calendar, temperature, and activity rings. The widgets are like complications on the lock screen of the Apple Watch. You can even set up multiple lock screens with different widgets that you can switch between with a simple swipe. There's even a feature that changes the pictures on your lock screen automatically. Notifications and happenings in real time. Notifications can sometimes cover up the picture on your lock screen. iOS 16 moves them to the bottom of your screen. As you get them, they don't get put into a list. Instead, they look like a vertical carousel. This makes your iPhone look better and should make it much easier to use with one hand. iOS 16 also aims to fix another problem with notifications. You might get a bunch of alerts from the same app at once, like the score of a basketball game. Live activities should make it easier to track the progress of things like sports games, workouts, or even an Uber ride. After Wallet and Apple Pay, your Wallet app will have more security and privacy features, and it will be able to store ID cards from more states. With iOS 16, you can also hide your age and identity. So the Wallet app will show your ID and that you're over 21 instead of your exact birth date. With iOS 16, apps like Mail and Messages make it easier to share keys. When your friend gets the key, they can put it in their iPhone's Wallet app. Apple said that it is working to make shared keys a standard in the industry and free for everyone. Apple Pay will accept new kinds of payments and add a new feature called Apple Pay Later. This is a service similar to Klarna that lets you split the cost of an Apple Pay purchase into 4 equal payments over 6 weeks, with no interest and no fees. The Wallet app takes care of payments that are coming up. This makes it easy to remember dates and payments. Apple Pay doesn't end there, though. You'll also be able to track Apple Pay orders with this new feature, and merchants will be able to send detailed receipts and tracking information. This should make it easier for you to know how your orders are doing. Messages will now have SharePlay. SharePlay is a new feature in iOS 15 that lets you play games together with someone over FaceTime. You can do things like watch TV shows and listen to music in sync. With iOS 16, you can now use FaceTime to find more apps that support SharePlay. But making SharePlay work in the Messages app might be the coolest thing Apple did for it. Apple said that this was one of the things app developers asked for most. Changes to focus mode and focus filters. Focus mode gets several updates. The first one changes how widgets and the lock screen look when focus is on them. So you could set a different lock screen for workouts and a different one for when work focus is on. Apple added focus filters to apps that let you use your iPhone's focus mode. For instance, in Safari, you can control which tabs are shown based on which focus mode you are using. Apple announced iOS 16 and everything else at WWDC 2022. The Apple M2 MacBook Air has a bigger screen but costs more. iCloud's list of family members. iCloud is getting a bunch of new features. The option to quickly set up a new device for your child is one of the more interesting ones. When Quick Start comes up, you can choose a user for the new device and use all the parental controls you've already chosen and set up. But this isn't what many of us still want. We want to be able to set up different users for the same device. There's a new family checklist with ideas for changing settings for your kids as they become older, such as a reminder to check location sharing settings or to share your iCloud Plus subscriptions. For more details, click on the below link. Thank you for watching.